Thanks for joining us for another DeFi Raiders AMA. My name's Relentless. Today I'm talking to Sur from the Equilibre team. I really appreciate you joining us today, man. I'm super excited to talk about what you guys are doing and everything that's kind of happening over there on the Kava network as well with you. So really appreciate you coming on. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and give a little bit of your background?
Yeah, sure. Also, very much appreciated to be here, to be invited, guys, to be talking with you. Yeah, I'm Sur. I'm one of the leads in the project in Equilibre. I do most of the design, so I have done the branding design, the front end design, the whole design. Also for documents, was my job to make the documents simpler, so it's easier for people to understand than other Solidite forks. And basically, yes, a mix between design task and management task. So I give a hand to Astro, which is the leader of the team. Well, the team has been together for almost 2 years already. We have met like almost everybody in DeFi, like from different kind of communities. And then at some point we got together. And we realized that Velodrome was doing such a great job and we wanted to do something similar. So we decided to start creating Equilibre.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I can't argue with the idea behind Velodrome and how successful they've been, and we're getting obviously tons and tons of forks currently, but I think what you guys have going over there on Kava Chain is going to be super exciting. So if you want to just kind of give, for anyone in here who might be unfamiliar, just kind of a high level overview of what Equilibre is going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me divide that into two parts. So let's start with the case if you already know what Velodrome is, which is the easier case. So it's a new kind of AMM, right? That works different in the sense that admissions are distributed by the votes that all players cast every week, and that makes projects compete between each other to obtain more votes, and that makes them get more rewards in their LPs. So they offer bribes, and then also whole trading fees, 100% trading fees are also distributed to the voters. So in the big picture, is you get 4 different rewards comparing with maybe 2 in traditional elements, and the missions are not wasted. They are properly placed where they are needed. So that's what's making Velodrome work very, very good, because it is actually working as a liquidity marketplace. That's the thing that it is. This is a tool for other projects to build their liquidity. The reason we chose Kava is because the most important thing in this kind of protocols is that you are able to maintain the flywheel, right? Like the flow of bribes and trading fees coming, which are the main difference. And Kava has a very interesting program for incentives called Kava Rise that actually rewards you for building. So the way it works is that at the end of every month, based on how much TVL you have built up, you will get an amount of Kava incentives in Kava token, of course. And this is calculated with a formula that they have, but just to give you an example, currently Curve is in Kava already, and they have TVL. If you go to the Fiyama, you will see that they have a TVL between 13 to 15K. And based on this number, they are receiving currently around 60 to 80K incentives. So that's a very great number. And yeah, also we think that when Velodrome launched in Optimism, there was no ecosystem really yet. It was because of Velodrome that this ecosystem got to grow so much. We are trying to accomplish the same thing in Kava. Kava has 2 sides, the Cosmos side and the EVM side. And The EVM sign is pretty much empty so far, so we are trying to establish ourselves there as Velodrome did in Optimus and be the door for other projects to come into Kava. So yeah, pretty excited to try to create this kind of boom in the Kava ecosystem. So yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, I was going to ask you kind of about the Kava Rise program. Is that 60 to 80K in incentives? Is that monthly right now?
No, but it's not fixed because it depends on your TVL every month. What I say 60 and 80, it's the example from Curve. Curve right now, if you go to the Fishama, they have a TVL between 13, 15. So based on the formula that they calculate incentives, they are probably receiving something like that. So, but it varies month after month. So if you continue building and you build up more TVL, you will receive more incentives.
Yeah. Tracking that. I was just saying that that's what their current incentives were between monthly for their TVL, which is pretty good. When you add that in, yeah. So very cool incentive program that they got going there. I thought that was pretty unique, kind of what they're doing, incentivizing builders to come over to their chain, which is obviously, outside of just having first mover advantage, right, with what you guys are trying to do and kind of become that native DEX over there. You now also have incentives, from Kava, which I love. So, all right, so cool.
Yeah, actually, it's not something that we are like that you need to apply. It's not a grant program. That's the main difference. You don't get the fund early, just to come and deploy. You get the funds after because you have built. And
based off your performance.
Any protocol that comes to Kava is able to apply. And that's the good thing, because if we are there as Equilibre, as the liquidity marketplace, and then the projects know that they can also get incentive from Kava, from the Kava Rise program, just by building TVL there, then that should attract a lot of projects to the chain.
Yeah, I love that. I love that you have to have built something and then actually build TVL in order to benefit. Yeah, that's a good model. So very cool. All right, so let's kind of launch into. I know you did kind of the high level, and we'll get into a little bit more specifics here. So first, let's kind of we'll do this in kind of twofold for the models here. So first, your fork of Velodrome. But let's talk, if you want to break down kind of the improvements that you guys have made over the general Velodrome model.
Yeah, well, first of all, the focus is in making it simple, friendly UI, friendly documentation, trying to make it feel as traditional AMNs as much as possible, trying to onboard new users that are not used to this model. So we have improved the UI, which Velodrome in the beginning, a lot of the community had complaints, a lot of issues. We actually talked with Velodrome team. We have established a contact with them, and they have been very friendly, very open, and give us a lot of advice and kind of saying us like, guys, you can do this to prevent that, because they had the experience. It happened to them. So very cool that way. And we are improving that. Then, as for the bugs that were known to be in the Velodrome contracts, we have fixed them all. Like the double claiming of fees is not there. We have fixed it. The rounding issues in tokens with different amount of decimals is fixed. We already have support for tokens with token tax, transfer tax, like FBOM. Like BOM. And yeah, a couple of more that I cannot remember right now, but they are all detailed in our documentation in a section that's called Introducing Equilibre. There we have detailed all the fixes that we have applied. And yeah, basically the improvements is the UI, allowing tax transfer tokens from the beginning, getting rid of the double claiming fees and the rounding issues. And yeah, a couple of more that are in the documents.
Yeah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, definitely good improvements there, and simplifying the UI, which is super nice.
Also, I just remember one. Sorry, in Velodrome, you need to reset your votes, right? To withdraw. To withdraw your BNFT, and also you need to kind of select the BNFT you want to attach the liquidity to. But here it is not needed. It's attached, and then when you withdraw, the votes are reset in the same transaction, so the flow to deposit and to stake and to unstake is a lot more comfortable for the user.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask you about, because you got that in your docs, and that's also cheaper. It's easier and cheaper, reduces the fees for users, which we're always looking for. Yeah, absolutely. Great improvement there for sure.
And Kava is quite cheap already.
Yeah, very, very cheap, just based off the test net, super cheap.
Yeah.
All right, so then very cool. Good improvements there. I like that. Not trying to remake the wheel, but obviously always trying to improve on something that's already been built. So
yeah, absolutely. There's always room for improvement. So we are following the Velodrome formula down to the line. We're doing everything in our power, like establishing contact with them, actually, like trying to get Kava a partner with us, like Ultimus was partnered with them, like, yeah, following down the line the formula, but finding ways to improve wherever it can be improved.
Yeah, 100%. Love that approach. And then also you guys have, taken some improvements over Solidly, which specifically what you guys are trying to do to make it kind of even for voters and bribers. Do you kind of want to explain what you've done there to kind of, even out those rewards there?
Yeah. So Solidai had the boosting of the LPs feature that Velodrome withdraw, and of course we are Velodrome fork, so we don't have it like from the beginning. The reason we chose to fork Velodrome instead of Solidai was because we think that this feature actually is not convenient for retail users. We wanted to level the field, the field for everybody. And yeah, we think actually that it's more healthy for the protocol to not have it.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. And then you guys have also changed the emissions decay model as well. You kind of want to touch on that a little bit, and how that benefits everyone.
Yeah, that part actually, I don't want to lie. I'm not the dev, so I don't have that part very, very clear. Maybe if Astroboy was here, he was probably surely gonna be able to explain that properly. But feel free to DM me later with a question about that, and I will make sure Astro helps me out with that answer.
Yeah, no worries. Because I'll put that in the group chat.
I know we touched it. I remember why, but I just don't wanna say something wrong because I'm not 100% sure of the change.
Yeah, makes sense. No worries. And for everyone who's listening, I'll get that answer from Astro, and then I'll post it in our Discord just to provide some clarity. Okay, so very cool. All right, so let's kind of move on from some of the improvements, and we'll talk about a few other things. Obviously, I know that this is a fork, so a lot of the same is simple, or a lot of the stuff is somewhat similar. But let's kind of talk about a little bit of your governance stuff with Vivara. So first, you guys have chosen, some forks have chosen not to, and some have to do the rebasing rewards. What did you guys see as the primary kind of driver for choosing that model?
Yeah, we are choosing the rebase, but it's not 100% rebase. It's something around 30, I believe. It should be in our documents. If not, I will add it later. But yeah, we think that's better than not having rebase at all, because you actually have 4 rewards, so it's better. And then I just remember that something different that we are doing also, that I know some protocols choose to have like lock-in periods up to 1 or 2 years maximum, but we also have the maximum until 4 years, like Velodrome. And the reason is because just like Velodrome did, we are trying to build a whole ecosystem, right? Like Kava needs also users that commit to the chain, and so if we allow for more time, it's kind of help that commitment. For example, other forks like Tina or like Equalizer that are doing awesome so far, they launch in chains where the ecosystem was already built, right? Like lots of protocols were there. But in Velodrome case and in our case, we were both launching in virgin environments, if we want to put it that way. So you need to kind of help the commitment, and having the locking period up to 4 years helps do that as well.
Yeah, very cool. And I think something that's important to kind of note with your 4-year locking model here, and for people who are wanting to enter this, is that all of your partner protocols, their positions are all locked for 4 years, correct?
Correct. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a decent chunk for your partner protocols to incentivize them to join you guys, but it locks them in for the health of the protocol, and I think that's great, right? As opposed to some of these, we've seen some of these different forks that are launching where they're not locked at all, right? The pre-sales aren't locked, or the partners are only locked for 10 to 12 weeks, and that's a very large portion of the token that's just kind of waiting to get dumped on everybody. So I think that's a great motivator for kind of your investors to know that this large chunk isn't going to be dumped on top of them.
Yeah, exactly. No. In our case, that shouldn't be possible. We have reduced the selling pressure as much as possible, because it's not just the partner position. It's like most of the team position is also locked. Every partner got a chunk, we can put it that way, based on also what they were providing, right? Like some partners, they were very open and very friendly also to establish us connections with other protocols, to bring liquidity in the RP, like to commit a specific amount of price every week. And also some other partners are gonna build products on top of us, like for example Bifi is gonna build their balls, like they have the B Velo, right? They're gonna have the B Vara balls also. So there were different points that we touch with all partners, and based on those points, we have given them the share that they deserve, of course. But yeah, everything is locked for 4 years, just like the team positions. And actually, the initial distribution that you will find out in our documentation, the way it's divided in different funds, different parts. It's an advice that we got from Velodrome. They say, okay, guys, we did this. We advise you to do this way, because we end up allocating too much to the airdrop or to the community, so we also reduce the amount that was going to be used in the airdrop for have less selling pressure, even less, sorry.
Yeah, very cool. That's a good model. I really like it, actually. So, and then a question I kind of wanted to ask. I know this isn't anything that's in your documentation, but it's something I'm thinking about. It's something that they're doing with the reliquary model, right? Is maturity-based rewards. Have you guys thought about kind of putting maybe that potential spin on your governance positions about those VNFTs as users, lock their positions, being able to increase their rewards based off the maturity of their position and not just the total value?
I'm not sure about the maturity thing, but we have many features planned. Like we are planning to have like a feature to allow users to exit in a way the Vivara position and make it liquid so they can use it. Also a VNFT marketplace, we are planning to do that. And yeah, also the users for locking Vivara, they will also receive wrap Kava as a bonus, as an incentive for locking, just like Vivelo rewards you with OP. So yeah, we are planning definitely many features, but for now, as I said, we are trying to build an ecosystem. So the focus is gonna be mainly in polishing the main app, the main functionality for a couple of months, and bringing projects, because that's what Kava needs now. Needs more projects in.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think they're starting to get some attention now, so that's going to be super helpful. And it's obviously, like I said, you guys have first mover advantage there for what you're doing. And then another feature that you guys are doing is being able to lend and borrow based off your Vivara positions, correct?
No, we are not allowing lending. We don't have lending in the app yet.
Okay, I must have misread that in the docs. I thought it said something about being able to borrow against.
No, we don't have in the app. The current app, I mean the one that's gonna be launched, has the main functionality like swapping, liquidity, voting, bribing, and claiming your rewards. We have planned a few features to add later, like I said before, but they will probably not gonna be in the app until a couple of months in the future, because we first need to focus in bringing partners, more partners.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, I will find that wherever. I read that somewhere in here, and I'll send that to you just kind of for clarity, because I was kind of wondering, what that was. But all right, if that's not what you're doing, that's cool. That's clear. All right, so let's move on and talk a little bit about just kind of the tokenomics. So just what is going to be the total max supply of your token?
Yeah, so the max supply, actually this model doesn't have max supply, right? Like if you go to Velodrome, they also don't have max supply, and we don't have either, of course. But we believe that for this model specific, it's better to not have a max supply, because the token gets constantly locked. So if you reach a point where you cannot lock anymore, the system dies. So yeah, we're gonna actually put together an article like to explain how this works and why it's better in some cases to not have max supply. And yeah, let me just find out the correct number. So the initial supply is gonna be 4 million Bara. That's the supply on launch. Then the weekly emission is gonna be 1.83 million Bara, and it's gonna decay 1% per week. And yeah.
Yep, and you guys got 13.5 million to the partner protocols locked over 4 years.
Yeah, most of the supply of the initial supply is gonna be locked, because if you, for example, if you look at the initial distribution, the 40% that is in grants, that's also gonna be locked in Vivara, because that's what we are gonna give to new partners, right? That's where the Vivara position for new partners is gonna come from. So it's gonna be already locked. Then the 33.75% that says partner protocols, it's what we are giving right now to the launch partner. That's locked. The developer fund is almost completely locked, and then the rest of the section are actually the smaller one. Then we have the community fund that is split it in different airdrops to Vivelo use holders, to max Bifi, and yeah. So most of the supply in the initial distribution is already locked.
Yeah, and then what is your? So I know that you guys are doing for payments, right? So 100% of the trading fees are going to the Vivara holders, which is great. And then you guys are paying the team with 6% of emissions. And then you guys also have your initial token distribution of Vivara, but for the team, that's not a 4-year lock, correct?
The initial distribution for the team is locked in different parts. There's a part that is locked for 3 months, a part for 6 months, and a part for 4 years.
Okay.
And the thing here is that we are trying to get a partnership from Kava. Like I said before, we're trying to establish the same partnership that Velodrome established with Optimism. So most likely, it's going good so far, but I don't want to say anything yet, just not to jinx it. But it's going good, and most likely, if we get this, we're gonna renew a whole position for 4 years. So
very cool.
Yeah, but that's the idea. That's the idea, and even if we don't do, most likely we will. I mean, even if we don't get the partnership, most likely we will do that. At least the 3 months one. That's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. I think one, you got to be able to pay yourself, right? In order to incentivize yourself to be able to build and have the resources you need. But also,
and the trading fees that you mentioned before, actually, they are not rewarded to the Vivara holders. They are rewarded to the voters. So
to the voters. Okay.
Yeah, trading fees and bribes are rewarded to the voters. The rebase is what you get for being a Vivara holder.
Okay, cool. Thank you for the clarity. I would need to. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so lots of incentives for voters as well. So very cool. So
yeah, actually, the incentives that we would receive from the prize program that we were talking in the beginning, that's separate from the partnership that we are trying to get that I was just talking about. But the incentive from the grant, the Kava Rise program, that is going to be split in 3 ways. It's going to be completely distributed back into the platform. The main way is to incentivize key LPs for the ecosystem, like Wrap Kava, Wrap ETH, Wrap Kava, Wrap Bitcoin, Wrap Kava Vara, Wrap Kava USDC, like main LPs with Wrap Kava. The other way is going to be to reward an additional bonus for Vivara lockers in Wrap Kava, and the other one is going to be to do bribe match with future partners.
Yeah, cool. Very cool. Yeah, I think you guys have put together a pretty good tokenomics model here that will, really help drive the protocol forward and ensure longevity. It's a great incentive for people to come partner with you under the understanding that, hey, this is a long-term partnershp. So which I think is great.
I gotta be tight there because we are aiming for the long term. Of course, that's a bit cliche already in DeFi, but we are coming out in an ecosystem that is yet to build, and we set the goal to build it. So that's a long term goal, and we need this kind of tightness in the tokenomics as well.
Yeah, well, I think it fits right in with what Kava is doing anyways, because Kava is incentivizing long-term builders. I know that there's a ton of narrative around Arbitrum, and I get it. Arbitrum's, great, but you're seeing so much kind of, pump and dump and, rugs are $1 million, and it's because, they don't have some of these other incentives outside of just kind of narrative to build there for the long term. So I think that Kava is doing some great things there, and definitely a good move for you guys to, one, not try to compete with some of these other established protocols on some of the other chains, but to tie yourselves in with a group of other builders who are looking long term. So
yeah, absolutely. I think that definitely. I mean, if you make enough noise and your ecosystem grow, of course, there are going to be bad actors coming too, right? Like, you cannot prevent people, because people hear the noise and they will go there. But yeah, actually, this model works a lot better being a single chain. So it makes no sense launching in another chain, like competing with an existing one. That also makes it that teams from this kind of protocol, they are very friendly. We have actually talked with people from Velodrome, like I said before, from Tina, from Equalizer. Like, people understand that we are not competition because we are in different chains, because that's the best for the model. And everybody is very, very friendly, very open. We help each other. So we definitely took that into account when choosing Kava.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so let's kind of transition. We got a couple more things to talk about. Let's get into a little bit of the security stuff. I know that you guys are a hard fork.
Yeah.
And so with that, according to your docs, you guys aren't doing any audits based off that hard fork. But since you have made some changes, are you looking at getting those portions that you've changed audited?
No, because this is not something very, very, very big. And as I said, we actually did some peer review, like with Velodrome themselves and with devs from Spirit Swap that we know. And actually, Velodrome is about to launch their version 2. And these fixes, they fix them for the next version 2. So they already knew the answer of how to fix it, and they were very open and cool and share with us like their solution. And we double tested. We did a peer review with the Spirit Swap devs that we said before. And also we just did a whole week of testnet. So no critical errors were found. There were, of course, stuff to polish in UI and stuff, but no critical errors. So we are very, very happy with that, and we know that the protocol is bulletproof. I mean, I don't. You never know, right? But we have done everything.
Yeah, there's always risk.
Yeah, we have done everything in our power to make it safe, and it makes no sense paying an audit for a small change that you have already double checked with so many devs, and that the testnet show that they are working, they are good.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. Yeah. So let's kind of talk about that. Tell us about the success of the testnet. I know you guys had an incentive program. It was a very, equal incentive program, just for people to come in and test. Everyone gets the same airdrop. It was great. But what are the total kind of numbers that you guys saw from the testnet?
Yeah, well, we saw huge numbers. Really was most adoption that we thought. That somehow the world came out positively, like to many different airdrop communities. So a lot of people come in, but also a lot of people from our partners, from our launch partners, were there. And overall, as I said, feedback was very positive. We have gathered mostly a lot of suggestions and good feedback about the UI or about features that we were missing on our test to change, like to make it easier. But the goal that we set for ourselves to make the app simpler and nicer, we are very happy because we believe that we have achieved that. And also because there were no critical errors. So the number for the testnet, I can actually just, if you give me 1 second, I can actually read it because we share this with Kava also, just so they know how things are going. And we actually have a screenshot that we did for them. Let me just found that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy overall. Have you tested?
Oh yeah,
What are your?
I'd have to pull up my laptop for the total amount, but I have, if this testnet value is worth real money, I'd have a lot of money. Yeah, I ran through pretty much every sector of it. I opened a position in each pool. I have I opened up 2 separate VNFT positions and stacked those and compounded the rewards and did tons of different swaps and bribes. I mean, it was pretty smooth. I liked it. I like the UI. I like the looks of it. I know that I had talked to you about being able to, simplify all the claims into one transaction.
Yes.
Are you guys going to be able to implement that?
Yeah, we haven't noted. We thought about that also, and we definitely want that because, of course, it will improve the user experience. So it's noted. It's not gonna be live from the get-go, but it's gonna be something that we can do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
One of our devs already confirmed that it should be perfectly possible. So it's something that we're gonna update later. So I just found this, that we had around 12,000 unique users based on filtering, a bunch of bots and stuff like that. And actually like 40K, around 40K BNFT locked. So that was pretty impressive. People were looking a lot.
Yeah, that's pretty good considering your test net wasn't even, up for that long,
Yeah.
And not only that, just the amount of daily users on Kava is increasing, but just based off the typical amount of daily users comparatively, those are pretty good numbers for the testnet.
Yeah. The thing is that because we haven't launched yet, so we haven't deployed. We are actually in the middle of doing that. Kava hasn't done any marketing about us yet. So actually, Kava native users haven't been trying the app yet. It's mostly people from other protocols and people that heard about us. So once we deploy, we will notify Kava and they will start pushing announcements about us. And hopefully that makes the whole Kava community also come to the app. So pretty excited about that, because actually we can show Kava that we are bringing these people, because the people in Kava yet, the people in Kava haven't come yet. That's awesome. That's what they want. New people.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. Very cool. Looking forward to kind of seeing your progress as you get more attention. So then, you talk about your partnerships. I know you guys have announced a few, and everyone, you can hop over to their Twitter and kind of look at what they've already announced. But what else do you guys have working?
Yeah, we had a couple more coming on. I'm going to announce one more probably today, just one day by day. So I think we have 4 or 5 left. I have to check. I know I announced 7, so yeah, it should be something like that, 4 or 5. And yeah, well, crossing my fingers now that also Kava confirms and we can announce them as well. So that would be the cherry on the cake. Yeah, but stay tuned to the Twitter or our Discord, and every day I'm gonna be launching the remaining launch partners yet to announce.
Very cool. Yeah, looking forward to seeing them. And then kind of, as far as your roadmap, when are you guys hoping to launch on mainnet?
It's gonna be really soon. We are in the middle of this process, so we are finishing implementing the feedback from the testnet and preparing the whole deployment. So it's gonna be, when it's done, we're gonna announce it. It's kinda still launch, quote unquote, because yeah, that makes it simpler. Yeah, we have learned in the past that putting a date just complicates stuff. So whenever it's done, it's gonna be notified, and that's it.
All right, very cool. Looking forward to it. Well, I think that kind of wraps up pretty much the questions that I had and the things that I wanted to dig into. I really appreciate your time. Just want to give you this opportunity to whatever final message you want to put out about the project.
Yeah, just so you know that we are working since 5 months already, pushing very, very hard to bring this up, and we are not setting an easy goal for ourselves. We are setting a hard one, which is build a whole ecosystem. But we are doing our best, everything in our power, not just for the app, also for business developer and connection, and to bring infrastructure to Kava. Because, for example, in Kava EVM right now, we only have MetaMask, and you don't have Chainlink yet. So stuff like that prevents other protocols from coming. But we are also trying to help Kava bring this infrastructure in, because that will also bring more people. Like, another thing that is not yet in place is withdrawals and deposits from centralized exchanges. So you can only actually withdraw to the Kava Cosmos side. So one withdrawals to the Kava EVM side are available. That's something that is going to be also pushing the ecosystem, and that's something that we are also pushing Kava to achieve as soon as possible. So yeah, we are doing our best. if you have been in the testnet, I definitely encourage you to come and check out the protocol. Just if you want to be sure, just make a log for 1 week, see what happens. If you don't know the protocol model yet, try it that way, and then you will already be able to see the benefits and maybe think about looking for more time, which will eventually give you more benefits. So yeah, if you are new in Kava, we definitely gonna have all the information about it in our documentation and lots of tutorials. So make it as easier as possible for everybody to come into this chain.
Yeah, very cool. Very excited to see you guys progress. And we're paying attention very closely to Kava and looking at doing some things over there ourselves. So very excited to kind of be tied in with you guys and watch this take off for you. So yeah, super excited. So thanks so much for your time, Shure. I really appreciate it. I really look forward to what you guys got coming.
Thank you very much, man. Yeah, I really appreciate the time also and the invitation, and this chat was awesome. I'm very glad that you have recorded. Yeah, hoping to see some DeFi riders in the Equilibre server then.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate your time. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Once again, I'm Relentless from DeFi Raiders. Really appreciate your time and support. If you're seeing this now on YouTube for the first time, please hit that like and subscribe button. We got a lot more coming for you. See you next time.